Gonna build a mountain from a little hill. Gonna build a mountain, I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I only know I'm gonna try. Gonna build a daydream from a little hope. Gonna push that daydream up the mountain slope. I build my mountain with a learning care, and take my daydream up the mountain, heaven will be waiting there.
Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome to my Planet Zoo sort of reaction video, if you will. If you didn't hear the news, Planet Zoo was just announced as of April 24th, 2019. Not sure when this video will be up. I'm not sure if it's going to be up on the 24th, maybe up on the 25th, but either way, that's when it was announced. And yes, Planet Zoo from the Planet series, as was mentioned on the new Planet Zoo forum. So I find that pretty interesting because that's the first time, as far as I'm aware, that, you know, it's been referred to as a Planet series. Now, I kind of feel like it's obvious that Planet Coaster 2 is going to come at some point. So are they referring to... Because to me, a series is more than 2 games, in my opinion. So you have Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo. Is Planet Coaster 2 considered part of the series, or do they have another Planet game in the works? A lot of people thought there was going to be like a Planet Safari, which I feel like Planet Zoo probably is Planet Safari. You know, maybe... You know, we don't have very many details about Planet Zoo yet, so, you know, we don't know what kind of like guest interaction stuff there is going to be in the game yet. You know, all we really have to go off of is, you know, this still picture we have here and the trailer, which we're also going to kind of analyze a little bit. But yeah, so who knows, maybe Planet Safari could be like a DLC to Planet Zoo down the line, where, you know, you can sort of have like open like zoo exhibits where you kind of can take a vehicle through it or something. Who knows? But I find that, you know, that they said Planet series very interesting, because I'm curious what else they could do, unless they're just referring to Planet Coaster 2. I mean, obviously that's Planet Coaster 2 is obviously part of that series too, but it just makes me wonder if they have another game kind of in the works that's going to have the Planet sort of title with it. But yeah, so Planet Zoo, here we are, and so we're going to kind of take a look at this little screenshot here first, and then we're going to kind of go back through the trailer and analyze some things that I found pretty interesting. So right off the bat, looks very similar to Planet Coaster. And, you know, like the terrain looks almost exactly like Planet Coaster. And I'm guessing that, you know, they probably sort of built this off of, you know, kind of what they had already done with Planet Coaster. But yeah, the terrain looks very similar, and the water so far looks pretty similar. But some things to point out, and who knows, that the game is in alpha most likely right now. And, you know, they may just be using some Planet Coaster assets sort of as placeholders. We really can't know that for sure. Like, these trees here look a lot like Planet Coaster, even these palms down here, and even the texture on the path. I think that's taken directly from Planet Coaster. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I have a feeling this might be sort of or at least what I perceive to be a mix between Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution. And I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. So obviously, aesthetically, it's closer to Planet Coaster. You know, the realism is a little bit higher than Planco. I feel like it's not quite as cartoony. So in that regard, it's, you know, a little closer to Jurassic World Evolution, but I feel like the overall aesthetic is very much Planet Coaster. And again, who knows? All that could be because they may just be using assets from Planet Coaster sort of as placeholders in the meantime. So what do we have in this video, in this screenshot? Well, the path here, like I said, looks very similar to Planet Coaster. We have terrain going over the path right here. We have like these arches. So I have the feeling that there's gonna definitely be some terrain manipulation involved. But the cool thing is we kind of zoom in. So we see obviously this is like an elephant enclosure, and it looks like they have, it's hard to tell, there's like a little bar here. I don't know if this is like a sort of like a custom, I don't know, just decoration, or if it's one that you can place inside of an enclosure. But they obviously have like, this looks like it might be like a little feeding area, not totally unlike Jurassic World Evolution, where you have to place the feeders in the enclosures. And then there's also these kind of enrichment, I guess, objects or toys, basically. So they obviously, you know, they have giant soccer balls. I'm guessing there'll probably be other things as well. You know, if you think of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, they had all kinds of different objects and stuff that you could place in the enclosures for the animals to interact with. And then, so we kind of look over here. There was something else that I thought looked pretty interesting. I don't want to zoom in too much before it starts getting too pixelated. But we look over here. This looks like a restroom building from Planet Coaster, doesn't it? And again, this could, like I said, this could all be total placeholders here. But this looks directly from Planet Coaster. It looks like you may be able to kind of maybe make some custom buildings. We also see over here this, I can't tell if this is a statue or if this is an enclosure. It looks like an enclosure, but I don't see any other animals. But that looks like it may be like a, I don't know, maybe like a Black Panther or something. It's kind of hard to tell, like zoomed in. Also, one last thing, we have actually two things. So over here, kind of tucked away, these buildings look like they have glass roofs. So I'm wondering if this is maybe like some sort of aviary, you know, where you can have, you know, different sections of the zoo where so you have like your, you know, elephant section, and then maybe you have like an aviary with all the birds. Maybe you have like a reptile section. But I find that interesting right there. Kind of tucked away, hidden away in the corner there. And then one other thing, which, you know, who knows if this is going to be part of your actual zoo or what, but I'm wondering if this is going to be, if this is like some sort of hotel, and perhaps, you know, they're going to sort of expand on the hotel function from Planet Coaster and bring that into Planet Zoo. I don't see why not. You know, I don't know of any zoos that actually have hotels inside the zoo itself. You know, they're usually kind of placed, you know, outside, but that could be pretty cool. You know, just the idea of being able to kind of have a hotel so your guests can stay longer and give you more money. But yeah, so now let's take a look at the trailer and kind of look at a few things from that.
Gonna build a mountain from a little.
So right here, kind of looking at the character. Again, it, you know, very similar to Planet Coaster. I feel like there's maybe more detailed in the character model here. I also noticed like she has like little buttons on the strap of her backpack there. But yeah, it looks like to me, you know, especially like the details, the buttons in the outfit there, like, I don't know, just like even in the sweater, just very much more detailed than it appears, than what, you know, you kind of have in Planet Coaster. So, okay, so this is also interesting. You kind of see her like she waves her little magic stick there to build the entryway to the zoo. And right off the bat, this says to me what I was saying earlier about whether Planet Zoo is going to sort of be a mix between Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution. So she, you can kind of see like things are being built as she kind of is walking through. So right here we have like our little zookeeper guy. He drops a big crate down, and then a little baby elephant pops out, and she goes up, and she takes a selfie with the baby elephant. So that right there is very similar to Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, where you would kind of place your animals in a crate and drop them down, and they would kind of pounce out of the crate there. And then right here, also this path, the texture on this path, directly from Planet Coaster. Even actually this bench right here is as well. So we see he's playing with the giant ball. And then, okay, so there's two interesting things in this video that I see right off the bat. So first we have this little point here that's overlooking the elephant enclosure. And we have a, like a zookeeper worker guy here with the microphone. And you can tell he is sort of talking to the visitors, and he's probably, giving a spiel about, elephants and what they like to eat and how they, the climate they like to live in and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty interesting. And it makes me wonder, is this sort of like a point of interest where, a guy will just kind of stand here and the visitors come up and he'll start talking to them? Or do you have sort of like a zoo guide almost? So he, maybe he walks around the zoo with a group of visitors or guests and kind of talks about, the different various parts of the zoo and the different attractions and animals and all that stuff. So that I think is pretty cool. I'm anxious to see exactly how this works here. And then so we go up here and we have another worker guy, but he's carrying big old buckets, and he's coming out of this building, which I'm thinking is probably just going to be like some sort of staff room. So obviously you're going to need staff in your zoo, and it looks like, they probably have to have a staff room for, who knows, maybe just resting, or, they need to sometimes go back to get supplies, or in this case, he has a couple buckets I'm not sure where he's going with those. It looks like he's walking to the, kind of to the edge of the exhibit here. But it's kind of hard to know what he does. He kind of gets almost run over by the lady there. And then again here, like, the various parts of the zoo are being built as she's like running through it. This could all totally just be for the sake of the trailer. But to me, that says it's a hint of being able to build like you can in Planet Coaster. So in my guess, I don't think that this is just a, pre-built asset that you can place down. I'm thinking this is all like, these are separate pieces. These brown poles here, this like middle kind of orange one, you have these little leaves and this like mask here. You also, if we kind of go back in the video a little bit, so there are these flower beds here that you can see, like right there, are kind of being plopped down at the same time. The lion looks awesome. I'd also have to say, like, look at the fur on these animals. Like, it looks amazing. Like, you can see like the individual strands of hair. Now, granted, this is pre-rendered, so you kind of have to take it with a little bit of grain of salt. It may or may not be this highly detailed in the actual, playable part of the game. But you can see he runs up, and if we go forward a little bit, let's go back. So he's got like basically a scratching post. except for this is for a lion, which is pretty cool. So again, it's more, like the elephant had the giant soccer balls. Obviously for your bigger cats and carnivores, they're going to want to have like these scratching posts and things like that. And then a quick look at a couple of other animal types. So down here we have the hippopotamuses, and they're kind of, doing their hippopotamus thing. And then up here we have giraffes. Very, very cool. And again, you'll see as she's kind of running through, like the path is sort of being built as she's going. Again, this says to me that this is going to be a mix between Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution, where, Jurassic World Evolution, yeah, you can make your custom enclosures, but really you're just placing fences, and, you can place trees and little water areas as well. But it's not as detailed as Planet Coaster. I think this is going to be a mix of both. Just kind of my own personal opinion. Of course, we have big old grizzly bears here. Gotta love some grizzly bears. We have another worker here. You can see he's got looks like some red meat in there. He's about to put in the feeder. Hey, look at that bear. Look at again, pre-rendered footage, but just look at the detail, and like, he just looks so fuzzy and squishy, and you want to hug him. He probably wouldn't like that, but it makes you want to hug him. I love the interaction with the water there. You can see his splash. There's probably going to be a good amount of, water in the game. And again, if we go back just a little bit, so right here we see a shop. It looks exactly like Planet Coaster, right? Like Planet Coaster, you have just the basic block-shaped shop, and then you kind of create your own building around that. And you can see that's happening here. So again, more kind of signs that it's going to be, you're going to still be able to build like in Planet Coaster. We got some monkeys back there, a little monkey area with like their platforms and things that they love to jump and swing around. And of course, the big reveal, you see the giant zoo and the awesome Planet Zoo logo. I love the take on the Planet Coaster logo, but you have like the lion's tail there. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this sort of little reaction / analysis video, if you will. There's other couple little hints, like here's a kind of another almost kind of domed shaped building, which again could maybe be another type of like aviary or like bird area. Very interesting. Obviously super excited about this game, and I can't wait to see more stuff as it's released. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you're excited for it, what you would like to see in the game, and kind of if you'd like to see it sort of be a mix between Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution, as I would like to see it. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments. So with that, I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.